about that then.
Namaste. Welcome to Pavitra. Pavitra में आपका स्वागत है. For some who are new to Pavitra, Pavitra is a place where minds meet to discuss, sing, chant, meditate, reflect on well-being of the body, mind, and soul. Today, as we all know, is the solar eclipse. It's a dark day. But in this darkness also, there is some light. And at Pavitra, we don't just ignore the darkness, we try to integrate darkness with light. And to help us do this, we have in our midst Govind Prabhuji. Govind Prabhuji is an exponent of Indian culture. He's been studying our ancient Indian scriptures for the last 30 years. And the wisdom which he shares with us helps us to improve ourselves, our relationships, our family life, as well as at the institution level. He's an erudite scholar who's authored many books. One of them is The Little Yogi in the Modern City, which is quite an appropriate read, being today the International Yoga Day. His words, through his talks or through his books, they're very relevant. They are very practical. They're very deep, and they help us to change our perspectives about life. So today, Govind Prabhuji is going to take us through this meditative experience. So thank you, Prabhuji, for being with us, and over to you.
Yeah. Okay, it's my pleasure to be here on the Pavitra platform to discuss something about the eclipse and yoga. Therefore, our topic is yoga, integration and yoga. So we'll begin with the recitation of Omkar mantra. Whoever is there, wherever they are, they can sit comfortably as prescribed by the great Muni. So let us sit and 3 times chant the Omkar mantra. Sit straight, breathe normally, be conscious of your breath. Understand that when you are conscious of your breath, when you harmonize your breath, that ordinary breath turns into prana. And prana is a great integrator of everything. And therefore, as you are making your breath consciously, the inhale and the exhale. Now before we chant Omkar mantra, let us take a deep breath and release. Take a deep breath and release. Take a deep breath and release. Maintaining the same principle, as you take a deep breath, breathe in all the positivity, breathe in all the immortality, breathe in all the confidence, and while breathing out, let everyone chant Omkar coming from the deep of your core, not from your nostril, not from your chest, not from your lungs, but coming from the core of the navel. Omkar is not a sound. Omkar is not a noise. Omkar is not a song. Omkar is a vibration. When we vibrate Omkar, rather we hear the vibration of Omkar, which is connected to the entire cosmos. Therefore, reciting Omkar, vibrating Omkar, which is called as Alambana, this Alambana will connect you to the vibration of the entire universe. Unfortunately, every day we are struggling, fighting, and having a war with the universal harmony. And as long as there is a conflict with universal harmony, till then we do not experience yoga, rather we experience shoka and roga. So let us begin. As I said, not from your nostril, not from your lungs, not from your chest, not from your throat, but from your deep navel. Let us recite the Omkar mantra 3 times. As I said, take a deep breath and then release with Omkara. I know all of you are ready. We will start. Take a deep breath. Once again. Let us do 2 more times. Feel the vibration. Maintain the vibration. See the entire system as you are vibrating. It's creating a great harmony within you, creating a great integration within you. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitamena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamini Namne. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gaurvani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. So there is a verse in the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad that goes Asotoma Sadgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityurma Amritam Gamaya. What does it mean? Asatama Sadgamaya. Let the Asat. What is Asat? Asat is not necessarily false. Asat is basically can be understood as disintegration, isolation. And what is Satgamaya? Satgamaya can be understood as integration. Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya. Today, in this eclipse, even while we are speaking and listening, let us try to be as meditative as possible. Let it not be simply a talk, and let it not simply be hearing, because during the eclipse, the energy of the universe is so disturbed, right? Because according to the Vedic tradition, Rahu, which is unfortunately not visible to the modern mind, because the modern mind is not sensitive to the surrounding. So therefore there is a darkness. When you experience darkness in the noonday, in the afternoon, when the sun is supposed to send its rays, certainly it creates an imbalance in the universe. And to deal with that imbalance during the grahana, the word grahana means what? The word eclipse is different from word grahana. The word grahana means to accept. Grahan karna, are grahan karo. So the word grahana means to accept. And what do we accept? Unfortunately, we accept the negative energy. And to deal with this negative energy, the Shastras, the Rishis, and the tradition has given us the concept of yoga. Right? So therefore it is very important to experience this yoga. And third is Mrityurma Amritam Gamaya. Mrityur, what is Mrityu? Mrityu is uncertainty. Mrityu is fear. Mrityu is separation. Mrityu is disturbance. Therefore, Amrita Gamaya. Amrita Gamaya means let me have the experience of Amrita. Therefore, when you are doing your pranayama, the incoming air is Sadgamaya. The outgoing air, the Asadgamaya. The incoming air is the Jyotirgamaya. The outgoing air is Tamasogamaya. The incoming air, Amritam Gamaya. The outgoing air, Mrityurgamaya. In this way, slowly, when we start functioning in our conscious mind, in our intellectual reality, in our stable mind, then the incoming air and outgoing air, the distinction does not stay. In both conditions, we bring positivity within us and be connected to the vibration. The outgoing air, what does it do? The outgoing air creates, again, let us see. So what does it do? The incoming air or outgoing air does not have a distinction of any kind of sort. Therefore, the followers of the Vedas, the Rishis, they gave us such a beautiful connection to the universe. When we are integrated to the universe, I just sent an article on, yoga in the home and yoga with the family. Now, what is home and what is family? The concept of yoga, family, and home, they're very interestingly integrated. All of you have heard the word of yoga, kutumba, ashram, right? So when we study the word yoga, now what is yoga? Yoga does not mean emptying. Sometimes people define yoga as to empty your mind. You cannot even empty a clay pot. When you have a water container, one may say, पानी को खाली करो. जैसे हम पानी को खाली कर देते मटके में से, तो पानी के बदले में अभी क्या भरता है? हवा भर जाता है. अगर किसी न किसी प्रकार से अगर आप पानी भी निकाल दिया, हवा भी निकल दिया, वहां आकाश भर जाता है, स्पेस. At no point of time the clay pot will remain empty, right? It will not remain empty. Our understanding of emptiness is connected to the water with the clay pot. Therefore we might say, अरे अभी मटका खाली हो गया. मटका पानी से खाली हो गया, लेकिन हवा से भरा हुआ है. हवा से खाली हो गया, स्पेस से भरा हुआ है, right? So therefore, similarly, the mind is compared to a matka, like a clay pot, right? There are some set of desires, and you empty those set of desire like water. Some other set of desire will occupy in the form of air. When you remove one set of desire which are compared to air, then what you do, you remove that, then you actually get next set of desires which are compared to space. Therefore the entire endeavor to empty the mind is not at all possible, because it is artificial, it is not real, it is not substantial, it is very, very superficial. Therefore, the followers of Sanatan Dharma, when they define yoga, they do not define yoga as emptying. They define yoga as filling. भरते जाओ, भरते जाओ. क्या भरो? हवा भरो, आकाश भरो, पानी भरो. And in this way, slowly, slowly, आप जब ये अमृत भरोगे, अमृत भरना is compared to what? Amrit Bharna, the nectar filling container, is the character of the container itself. Therefore, integration, harmony with the universe, harmony with the family. Right? What is Graha means? Graha is a planet today. Rahu, according to the Vedic literature, Rahu is capturing the sun god for some time. लोका, अलग अलग लोकों का वर्णन होता है. So similarly, your home is called as griha. आपके घर को क्या कहा गया है? Your house is called as griha. You know, आपने देखा होगा कि गृह प्रवेश, the word गृह प्रवेश. Please, when you focus on the language, I think on 26, one retired Navy officer and a teacher from one of the best schools is going to speak about the mother tongue and the connection to our life. Very interesting concept. He will present that. Dhananjay Joshi ji. So the word graha and home, I do not know the root word of home, but I can feel the word graha. I don't need to know the translation. I need to feel the word graha. Word graha means to influence. The word graha means to impact. The word graha means to consume. The word graha means to also connect, with other influences. Therefore, when somebody comes to your home, what do they feel? They might see only the design on the wall. They might see nicely neat room, but the sensitive people will experience the vibration of that graha. Therefore, our home, if it is more connected to Surya Graha, if it is more connected to Chandra Graha, it is more connected to Guru Graha, it is more connected to Buddha Graha. Of course, all the Grahas will be there in our house because every Graha has its positive side and has its negative side. And what does yoga do? Yoga helps us to integrate between the negative and positive. Maximize the positive, minimize the positive, but cancellation of negative is not possible because this is a land of duality. This is the land of duality. Because it is a land of duality, expecting complete happiness in this world is a stupidity. But at the same time to say, Are, this world is full of misery, there is nothing but misery, it is nothing but height of hopelessness. Therefore, yoga, what does it do? It integrates. And for the act of integration, what do we need? We need a ashrama. What is ashrama means? The word ashrama, when we hear the word ashram, we feel ashrama means basically a place of religious sanctity, a religious place. ओ ऋषिकेश में आश्रम है, ओ चौपाटी में आश्रम है, ओ साधु बेला आश्रम है, रामदेव बाबा का आश्रम है, इस्कॉन का आश्रम है. Right? Our understanding is ashram means a religious place. But what is ashram? Before we get into the understanding of ashram, we'll do 3 more Omkar mantra because today is yoga. Every 10-15 minutes, we will add 2-3 minutes of meditation. Please, again, everyone, close your eyes, sit straight, and keep breathing back and forth. Back and forth, keep breathing. Take a deep breath. And release. vibration. Be connected to the vibration of the universe. And therefore, what is ashram? Ashram is a word which is, the word ashrama means where there is a shrama, where there is endeavor, where there is efforts, where there is exertion, right? So therefore shrama hai, wahan prayas hai, wahan kriya hai. So therefore to make our graha, our home, into a place where we can love together, stay together, requires positive endeavor. And therefore, the Bhagavatam scripture explains what is the definition of yoga. In the Vedic literature, every word are connected to personalities. Just like the difference between Vidya and education, Lakshmi and money, Shraddha and faith. Please hear this again. The word Shraddha, what does it do? It invokes a feminine Shakti, energy and Devi. Shraddha Devi, Vidya Devi, Lakshmi Devi. It is not a matter. It is not a dead matter. Rather, it is a living force. And it is not just a living force. It is a divine energy. इसको शक्ति कहा गया है. विद्या देवी. We would not gain education. हम विद्या की उपासना करते हैं, श्रद्धा की उपासना करते हैं, लक्ष्मी देवी की उपासना करते हैं. So similarly in the Bhagavatam it is explained, dharma is a personality, and dharma married to whom? When dharma married to kriya. Now kriya, another word for kriya is a shrama, prayas, parishram. जब क्रिया के साथ में धर्म जुड़ जाता है, when kriya is connected to dharma, when kriya is connected to adharma, it gives rise to conflict. When kriya is connected to adharma, it gives rise to false ego, right? When kriya is connected to adharma, what does it do? It gives rise to lack of confidence. When kriya is connected to adharma, it gives rise to depression. And when you are depressed, when we are depressed, we can help them. Like we were discussing other day, on the subject of suicide. It is explained that one who commits suicide, do not ask him why he or she committed suicide, because the brain stops functioning. They do not find meaning in life, and therefore they find meaning in death. Right? So therefore, just see the definition of yoga is what? Kriya plus dharma. जहां आश्रम है, आश्रम इज योर होम, और वहां जब धर्म आ जाता है, देन वो योग बन जाता है, और आपका घर क्या बन जाता है? ग्रह बन जाता है. इट बिकम्स अ होम, अ स्वीट होम, and every resident who is staying inside the home becomes what? Becomes a grahastha. And today is also, you know, the appearance of disappearance of great personality called as Bhaktivinoda Thakur, one great Vaishnava from Bengal. He was the judge in the British court, and he says in one of his songs, and how many children he had? He had 13 children. 13 children in the COVID time, when people have two kids, keeping them home rather than home becoming a spiritual realm, it has become a prison house, many people are saying. He says, when I come to home, when I come to my home, when I see my family, what does it say? Grihete goloko bhai. That my house has transformed into the spiritual realm. Why does it happen? Because there is a kriya, and that kriya is connected to dharma. When kriya and dharma are connected, it becomes yoga. Huh? That becomes yoga. Do you know? Unfortunately, yes, certainly there is a trouble. Black life matters. You know what is one of the greatest problem from the black community or the white community also, or the Indian community which is blindly imitating the Western community? It is explained that 74% of the black community, their children are raised without their father, without their mother. In a wedlock, the child is born without the girl experiencing the motherhood. Right? When the integration of discipline and affection is not there. What is yoga? Again, another definition of yoga is a harmony between a feminine and masculine energy. It's a harmony between masculine and feminine energy. It is not simply male and female. Certainly, the female may exhibit more feminine energy, but that does not mean that they do not have masculine energy. And the male, they may exhibit more masculine energy, but if they are bereft of the feminine energy, they become brutal, they become obnoxious, they become violent. And unfortunately, in this age, it's very interesting. When it is a question of ego clash, both the party exhibit dominant masculine energy, and therefore there is a great conflict. But when it comes to dealing with conflict outside, in the real world, right, in the real world, when there is a conflict, where we fight against the injustice, then what do? We exhibit great amount of unevolved feminine energy. I'm not saying feminine energy, because one of the character of feminine energy is adventure. Do you know this? Sahas, it is explained that sahas is exhibited by women more than the men. It's a very interesting concept. So therefore, unless the masculine and feminine energy are integrated, the yoga does not happen. The yoga does not happen. And therefore, again, the whole concept of Anulom and Vilom. Again, we will stop here and do 5 times Anulom Vilom. But before that, again, we will go through the 3 Omkar mantras. Right? What is Anulom Vilom? Anulom Vilom is, all of you know, right, that the ring finger and the index finger are together, and the index finger and the middle finger are touching the, the bottom of the thumb like this. And then you breathe from the left nostril first. Means you take breath from your left nostril. Again, do not take your breath from your throat. Do not take your breath from your chest, not from your lung. Let it go deep into your navel. There should be no traffic jam in the nostril, not in the throat, not in the lungs, not in the chest. It should be like a super highway between your navel and releasing from the two holes of the nostrils. It is like this, taking, holding it for few seconds. Remember the Supreme Lord, and then release from the right nostril. Begin taking from the left nostril and release from the right nostril. And then take from the right nostril, hold it and release from the left nostril. Again take from the left nostril and release from the right nostril. Let us do this 3 times along with the Omkar mantra. First we'll do Omkar. Everyone sit straight. Breathe normal. Now take a deep breath. Once again, take a deep breath. Take a deep breath. Feel the vibration. Feel the vibration. After experiencing the vibration, let us start. You are supposed to take from the left nostril and release from the right nostril. Then take from the right nostril and release from the left. Then again take from the left and again release from the right. Let us start. Release from the left. Take deep breath from left and release from the right. Take from the right, release from the left. Take from the left, deep from the navel, and release from the right. Take from the right and release from the left. One more last time. Take from the left, deep, and release from the right. What does this Anulom and Vilom do? Just see our great rishis, they they discovered the concept of vibration in the universe. As I said, the universe is also doing continuous pranayam. Bhumi Devi, Mother Earth, she is continually doing it. And as long as there is a balance between the masculine and feminine energy, it is explained the left nostril is called as Chandra Nadi and the right nostril is called as Surya Nadi. Yan and Yin energy, masculine energy and feminine energy. The left nostril represents feminine energy and the right represents masculine energy. You know, these two nostrils are like good friends or husband and wife. If there is a conflict between these two, that gives rise to great challenges, difficulties, and ego clashes. Therefore, this Anulom and Vilom actually gives rise to great harmony in our mental frame. So therefore, wherever there is Kriya connected to balance, which is Dharma, that itself is called as Yoga. And why should we not make our home into ashram? What is the harm in making an ashram? People don't mind making their home into a bar. People don't make people don't mind making their home into a home film theater. People don't make people don't mind making their home into a sport place. Right? मध्य मंदिर बना सकते हैं, क्रीड़ा मंदिर बना सकते हैं, सिनेमा मंदिर बना सकते हैं. Why not yoga mandir also? When you add yoga mandir, what does it do? What does ashram does? The power of yoga is it takes away all that is unnecessary and unwanted. You don't remove. The integration of yoga has the power to remove all that is not wanted. Just like Michelangelo said, I do not carve the statue. The statue is already there. I only remove the extra marble. I chip those marble which are extra. Then what comes out is a beautiful deity. Similarly, the living entity, we the jiva, are like that raw statue. And the process of yoga is like Michelangelo chipping the unwanted elements. It is not giving up, rather, it is cleansing and integrating. When you cleanse and integrate, you see your home and your family is actually experience yoga because your home has become an ashram. So therefore, it is extremely important practicing this yoga. And our Krishna, who is the Yogeshwara, the great Sanjay in the Bhagavad Gita is called as a Yoga Shastra. There is a philosophy and there is yoga also. Right? There is a philosophy and there is a yoga also. And what does Sanjay say in the conclusion of Bhagavad Gita? He says, Yatra Yogeshwaro Krishna, Yatra Partha Dhanurdhara. Tatra Sri Vijay Dhruva Nitir Matir Mama. He said, my dear Dhritarashtra, wherever there is Krishna and wherever there is Arjuna, Who is Krishna? Yatra Yogeshwaro Krishna. Wherever there is Yogeshwar Krishna, and Yatra Partha Dhanurdhara, and wherever there is great archer, bowman Arjuna, what do you experience? Sanjay does not say you experience poverty. Sanjay does not say you experience breaking of relationship. Sanjay doesn't say you give up all family relationships. Sanjay doesn't say you experience complete detachment or escapism from this world. Sanjay says, my dear Dhritarashtra, wherever there is Krishna, wherever there is Arjuna, what do you experience? You experience Sri, prosperity, morality, determination, and peace. We experience peace, we experience determination, we experience prosperity, and we experience morality. And therefore he said, my dear Dhritarashtra, your son is a rogi, Duryodhan. He has lived a life of arrogance and what? Adharma. Kriya is there, but Dharma is not there. But on the other hand, the Pandavas have the Kriya, they have the Dharma, therefore their victory is guaranteed. And what is this chariot of Arjuna? This chariot is nothing like our body only. And Krishna's Paramatma is guiding within our heart. If we are connected with this, what does it do? It gives us great benefit. Therefore, Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita does define yoga in so many ways. But one of the most fascinating definition, which I feel very, very affected by, is the definition of four things. Very simple four things. No one can say that I do not do this. In fact, all living entities for that matter, not only human beings, all the living entities do this in every day of their life. But unfortunately, they do it with a great disintegration. There is no integration. And what is that? Let us learn that. But before that, let us again feel the vibration of the Omkar mantra 3 times. Sit straight. Feel the vibration. Breathe normal, back and forth. Take a deep breath. Feel the vibration. Feel the beautiful vibration. Connected to the universe. as you have harmonized your energy, let us conclude with these 4 points what Krishna speaks to Arjuna in the 6th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. What did he say? 4 things. Yukta ahara, yukta vihara, yukta chestasu karmasu, yukta swapnava bodhasya. Yogo bhavati dukkha. He said one who practices the yoga process of freedom. And what are these 4 things? He says that yukta ahar. Yukta ahar is not only eating food. It is eating food which is wholesome, eating food at the right time, eating food which is right kind, eating food with the right consciousness, eating food with the right understanding. Right? What is it? When you do that, you become a yogi. Yukta ahara. Yukta vihar. Yukta vihar means what? Just see Krishna on the battlefield of Kurukshetra to Arjuna. He's saying, my dear Arjun, vihar is recreation. And recreation cannot happen without relationships. You cannot have recreation without friends or family. It is not possible. We need surrounding. We know all. Because of the COVID situation, many people are going through difficulties because they're not able to meet people. Three-dimensional. Right? Vihar happens. Timely vihar, recreation is very important. And the third, what is the third one? The third one is work. Ashrama, shrama. Right amount of work. If you are working 18 hours, Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, what is that? If you sleep too much, you become lazy. If you sleep too less, you become crazy. When work is forcing us from sleeping, getting our proper rest, that is a troublesome. Therefore, work, rest, eating, and recreation, these are 4 pillars of family life. But unfortunately, it's what? What is happening? Unfortunately, our 4 pillars of life are always in conflict because the process of integrating them only happens when there is a concept of yoga. When we have the concept of yoga, with the help of a teacher, with the help of the grace of God, practicing yoga, especially the yoga of the heart, while doing our whatever yoga we do, pranayam, yoga sadhana, ashtanga yoga, hatha yoga, jnana yoga, karma yoga, but along with that, when we connect ourselves to bhakti yoga, what does it do? That integration has the power to integrate all the 4. Therefore, Krishna in the 6th chapter tells Arjuna, Arjuna in all condition become a yogi. And Arjuna was able to condition. He was able to harmonize between compassion and justice. He was able to harmonize between violence and non-violence. He was able to harmonize between valor and sensitivity. He was able to harmonize between work and worship. He was able to harmonize between his efforts and dependence on God. By doing this, Arjuna became a great yogi. And by being a great yogi, he remained in the pages of Bhagavad Gita forever for us to understand what yoga and how to become a yogi in our home and in our personal life. Thank you very much for your kind attention to this discussion.
Thank you, Prabhuji, for explaining the concept of yoga in such a meditative way. Uh, would you like to take a few questions?
Can't hear you. I think you are mute.
No, Prabhuji, I'm not muted. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me?
Hello?
Can you hear me, Prabhuji?
Hello?
Can you hear me?
I can't hear you.
Can you hear me? Haribol, Prabhuji, can you hear me? Can you hear me, Prabhuji?
Can't hear.
I can't hear. Oh.
I think we can stop here. Huh?
Okay,
Thank you once again for your invitation. It's my honor. Jai.
Thank you, Prabhuji.